which is when we see negative signs with all of these examples. So, what I'm actually going to have you do is work with the person next to you. We're going to do things a little bit differently. So, let's have Isaiah, can you move up one for me, sir? And Alyssa, can you pull up a chair to Dylan's table for me? So put your names on it. The person next to you will be your partner. Put your bell ringer to the side. So we're going to be talking about if we have our square roots, we have our absolute values that we've been working on, and we have exponents, which we did last week. What happens when we factor in some of the negatives in many different appearances? Well, can you move up to me? So, if you could also set up your notes for today. So, one of you, if you want to just write this at the top. Before we get going, what do we already know? What are some facts of negative signs? Where have we seen them before? Tamira, where have you seen negative signs before? Okay, so subtraction, going backwards, taking things away. What else? Where else have we seen negative signs? Where do they appear? Anywhere else? Haley, where else?
Like in your bank account, if you owe money like negative $5, you have to owe the bank $5.
Negative $5, or if you withdraw more money than you had in, then you have a negative amount. Good, so those are some of the places we can... So what does it generally mean then? Besides owing money, which direction? What does it generally mean if I see a negative? Bella? Opposite is a good way to put it, or going the opposite direction. So with the person next to you, we're going to explore the following questions. So one, how does the location of negative signs in relation to parentheses impact a power? So when we get exponents, we have our base and our power. What's going to happen when we have a negative sign? Also, how do things change when the base is negative? And then how do negative signs work with square roots and absolute values? So with the person next to you, decide who's going to be the recorder, who's going to be the reporter. So you'll have time just with the person next to you. And so if you want to take 1 minute, decide that, write it at the top for me next to the names. So the recorder's going to record the work, and the reporter's going to share what you guys decided about what we're going to talk about. So if you could write your role under your name for me. So the first one, we're going to do please ponder. So with your partner, can there be a negative sign inside a square root? Why or why not? And provide an example to support your answer. Go.
I think there.
Oh, did you say yes?
Take another 2 minutes. Let's go. So just question one, friends, just question one. All right, so let's bring it back, whole group. What do we think? What do we think, Melissa? Negative plus a negative, or you meant? Okay, good. So we have, let's tally and see. We have some no's and some yeses. We have one no. What about another group? So Melissa says a negative and a negative becomes a positive, so no. What about another group? Ariel, what'd you guys decide?
I said yes, because you can change it to a positive like X.
Okay, so you could maybe change it to a positive. That's one opinion. What's another opinion? What do we think? Haley, what'd you guys decide?
We said yes, you can have a negative inside square root.
Okay, and did you guys give an example? What makes you think that?
Because you can. It's just like if it was not in a square root, because there is always a square root to any number. Whether it's negative 49, then it's negative 7 as square root.
Okay. Ari, what'd you guys decide?
Yes, because negatives are whole numbers.
Okay, negatives are whole numbers just like positives. Amy, what about you and Bo? What'd you guys decide? Okay, so we have another vote for no. Who haven't I heard from? Dom, what'd you guys decide?
We said no because you can just go back with numbers and negative sign. We found it like -1, -2, -4.
Okay, good thought. Alyssa, what'd you guys decide?
I said yes, because you can still divide a number by a negative.
Still divide a number by a negative? Alright, what groups haven't I heard from? Cal, what'd you guys, I heard from you. What'd you guys decide? We think yes? Okay. Adriana, what'd you guys decide? Okay, yes, because of absolute value. Alright, let's see. Let's set up your notes. So the answer is, there cannot be a negative inside a square root. Now, the reason why, there are a lot of questions about this. So that's why I wanted you to ponder that, because there cannot be inside the square root. Yes, ma'am? We'll show you in a minute. So let's set up your notes here. Keep these in your notes for outside the radical, outside the square root. You take the square root of the number inside and make it negative. 2 steps. If it is outside. So some of you might have been thinking about that, which influenced your yes. So then inside the radical, there is no real solution if it is inside. We'll look at a couple examples here in a minute. So no number multiplied by itself will then give you a negative answer. That's kind of your thinking that you have to go through when you think of it inside the radical. However, we can see them outside of the radical. So, if you can include in your notes, include this one here. So we have square root of -4. Can I do it? Can I do this? No. Okay? So, including your notes, inside the radical I cannot. What about this? How would I solve this? Tamira, what would I do? I'll take my square root of 4 and then I'll bring this negative down because it is outside the radical. Yes, Dom? So, how are these different then? We see the place of the negative. So again, just like Tamira said, if it's outside, I can make my solution negative after taking my square root. So I'll take the square root of 4, which is 2. Bring my negative down.
So it's kind of like division.
Almost, yep, with bringing it down. And then for this one, I have to stop myself right away. No real solutions. I can't do negative 2 times negative 2 and get negative 4. A negative times a negative is a positive. So this is simple, yet something important to remind yourself, especially when you get to maps testing or any kind of testing. If you go quickly, you might give yourself a negative 2 answer, but you've got to check and make sure. All right, let's do the second one. With your partner, question 2. Do these have different values? Talk about it, solve them, see what you think. Question 2, go ahead.
I don't think they have to call the same thing, just with parentheses on this one just without parentheses. They don't. What do they give?
All right, another minute on this one. All right, let's talk about it. What do we find, groups? Sierra, yes or no? Do they have the same value?
Yes, they have the same value.
Okay, so yes, they have the same value. Why'd you guys think?
Because they have the same thing. Just one of them has parentheses.
One of them has parentheses, okay. Good thought. Amy, what do you think?
I think no, because
Not the same value?
this one's like negative 4.
Okay, one with parentheses is different. What's another group? Gage, what do you guys think?
I said no. Well, wait.
Same value. Yes or no?
Well, the problem says that these expressions have different values. Yes.
Or different values, I'm sorry. Are they different?
No, they are not.
I said no because
Well, there'd still be one yes, one no.
So no, they're not different. I'm sorry. So Gage, what did you guys decide?
I said that no because the one box has parentheses, but those are the only numbers in both boxes.
Okay, so no, they're not different. Adriana, what did you decide?
Yes.
Yes, they are different. Okay, did you give a reason?
Because you have to do the parentheses first and then you have to add the negatives on.
Okay, so parentheses first, then the negatives.